Hello, Rifti Beats here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do dumb amounts of damage like MK Leo and Tweaky. And this is how they do it. They mainly rely on something called a sequence, and then they chain those together to make their advantage state, which is something I always talk about. So, advantage state's basically when you hit someone, let's say like I get Bowser, I nair Bowser, I jump in, and I'm getting my little mix going like this, right? So I nair Bowser, jump in, I get Tatsu loops, and suddenly he's on his all foot because I hit him a few times and got some damage. This is what your advantage state's generally going to be, something like this. So this is all fine and dandy. The most basic form of advantage state is literally when you have someone in the air or they're in hit stun with damage on them and you don't have damage on you. So that's like the most fine version of it. Think of it generally when they're not on solid ground, when they're trying to land on their feet and be able to play the game again, when you're stopping them from playing the game. This also can apply to when I have Bowser. Let's say I kick him off stage. He's in disadvantage here, even though, obviously that platform wouldn't be in the real life, but he's in disadvantage. So that's that. There's going to be three factors that are going to go into your advantage state, into making it really effective. Three decisions that go into it and determine how it is. So the first is going to be the character you and the enemy are playing. In this situation, we got a green light because it's it's Ken versus Bowser. Ken is an amazing combo character who has really good damage output, and Bowser is a big body character who takes a lot of damage from Ken. So we have a green light here for that. We're plus in this situation. The second factor is going to be how well can you extend your combos, or how well can you extend your advantage state? Because there's two things in your sequences that are gonna matter: combos and extensions. How you extend your combos is important because realistically in Smash Bros. Ultimate, true combos are usually pretty small. They're not that big, and they're not going to do a lot of damage. You're only going to get real big damage off of combos in Ultimate and just Smash Bros. In general if you're linking a bunch of them together. So if you know how to link them or keep them going or kind of keep the mix going, suddenly your damage output's way scarier, like I did there. That was like 3 combos I chained together in a short situation. However, these links change depending on the situation you're doing and the last outcome, the third outcome. What links you do are all affected by this outcome or this variable, and that's how the enemy reacts to what you're doing. And it's usually determined by how good their disadvantage state is. If you're fighting someone who has a very good disadvantage state, like the person, not the character. Bowser obviously does it. But if you're fighting someone who knows what to do in disadvantage state, they might not go for dumb things. Like in this situation, a dumb thing for Bowser, well, not a dumb thing, but a thing that Bowser could do that might get him screwed over is, let's say, I hit him with, let me slow the game down for this actually, because I'm gonna have to use 2 controllers. He's still in control. Yeah, yes. So let's say I hit him with my little basic combo, and this man out of hit stun decides, let's say he goes for some wacky stuff and decides, I'm literally gonna mash. Let's see here. So I dash forward. This man decides he's gonna mash up smash out of hit stun. So if I'm right, I think Ken is so quick that he literally could just run up and extend the combo. So in that situation, the combo extender was just run up and up tilt him again because he had the audacity to mash F smash out of hit stun, which that's a terrible move for him to break a. That's a terrible move for him to stop a link with, I guess. So yeah, that was the link I went for. This is usually a terrible link to go for, but in this one case scenario, I could use this terrible link to get me even more damage and possibly do the same thing again. Links are how you do dumb damage in this game. Like when you see people, MK Leo and stuff melting people or tweak, it's usually because they're linking together a bunch of small things on top of the fact that they have solid advantage state too. So you can either link a combo into another combo, or you can use a link to keep someone in disadvantage state, and not a link, but I guess this is more of like a good hit to keep them in disadvantage state and decide on how you're going to kill them again. F smash in this case isn't going to link into another combo, but F smash is going to continue their disadvantage by putting them off stage and setting them up to take more damage. So if I end the combo in F smash, I'm probably giving up on damage, but I'm getting position advantage. If I end the combo in let me put him back at that percentage. If I end the combo in something like I think this is crescent kick. I actually kind of forgot the names of his moves. It's been a long time since I played Ken. Let's see. Let me check real quick. This is... That's the Tatsumaki. Sure you can... That's Crescent Kick, yeah. This is Crescent Kick. That's what it translates to, I think. That's what people usually... That's why I used to call it back in the day, was Crescent Kick. So, Ken's going for... let's say he goes for Crescent Kick, or the inverse Hadoken input. By ending with the Crescent Kick, I get more options. Like, out of this, I can do run and grab. It depends on how he reacts to it, but out of this, I have more chances to extend. I can get a true combo there, which is going to be the sweep, which would be really cool. I could go for something even more risky. And disadvantage or advantage state, the thing I'm going to say is usually the things that do more damage are way riskier and aren't true. Like usually the extensions or the links to your combos or whatever that do more damage, they're not going to be true, and they're going to be they're not going to be safe to go for. But if you're trying to do big damage, just know it's going to be all about reading them and landing a lot of those insanely unsafe and risky tools. Let me go to, who's a character who can demonstrate this better? Because Ken kind of has safe and risky tools, but I think a character that would show this off a little bit better would be someone like, let's say Chrom. So, we'll put a little bit of percent on Bowser. Chrom's a nice combo character with a sword, and in general, he has a good disadvantage. So, Chrom, there's two things he can decide to do. When he up airs you, he can decide if he wants to go for a combo out of that up air, or he can decide if he just wants to maybe like keep you in the air. It's all up to Chrom. He kind of has a Lucina thing going on where he can just keep up air juggling you. And this is like kind of how this kind of determines like how much damage output you're gonna do. In a situation where he just keeps going for up air, it's like how Ken was with up smash, where they do link together, but this is generally safer and true, and it's just gonna give me positional advantage. It's not really gonna give me a lot of crazy damage. Now, if I was real crazy, I'd probably do something like, let's see, up air, bear, and then maybe look for like a nair or something like that, and I get a little bit more damage off it. It's not true per se, but it is generally the better thing. Or if I'm feeling like, if I'm really in someone's head, I'm really feeling myself, I probably can go for something like up air, side do, nair one, jab, F smash. Which, this is all just like one really oppressive sequence that works with Chrom because he has options on what he wants. This is why his advantage state is so good. He has so many different options for what he can do. He can decide if he wants to go safe, if he wants to go crazy, and the way you, because he has so many different options, the way you deal with it is very hard. So let me get into that now. This was all me covering like the second variable. Now I'm going to cover the third variable, and it's how people deal with what you're doing. Oh, why'd I go out to switch? So this is important. How people deal with what you're doing is going to widely affect what you do. So I'm actually going to play as Bowser in this situation because Bowser has one of the best advantage states in the game. So this is a better character to show it. So if Bowser... There's two outcomes. Bowser can think in his head he wants big damage here, but I can do stuff that forces him not to get big damage in this situation. So Bowser, to do a lot of damage to me, probably want to do something like, let's see if I can get this with my second controller and then put the way. He probably would want to do something like up throw, up air, like some nutty thing like that. Up throw, up air, maybe up throw. I think one of his combos is like up throw nair, but I'm probably going to like drop this 40 times. But he would go for some like nutty thing like up throw nair to try to put percentage on him and then get up there. Like that's like his best case scenario for melting you. Is he would go for something like up throw, up air, up throw nair, or something like that. However, as the Chrom player, I can dictate how much damage he'll get by my options. So in disadvantage, these are the things they're gonna have to look out for on people. It's usually only about 4 things, but depending on the character, it could be up to like 6 or even 7 in Pikachu's case. So Chrom, he has like he's like an alright baseline because his disadvantage isn't amazing, but he still has an alright one, I would say. So Chrom lacks the option of usually throwing out a normal. He can do it, but his option of throwing out a normal to stop you from juggling isn't that good. Someone like Mario, however, could probably throw out neutral air and just kind of stop your juggle. Or ZSS can do down there and just descend really fast and have a hitbox. In Chrom's case, his options are only going to be his drift mixing up his drift with a special like this, air dodging, and maybe counter. I would say counter, and maybe sometimes in crit situations you might be able to land with dare or something like that. But yeah, his options are gonna be drift, his counter, dare, and oh yeah, the option. This is the universal one that everyone in the game has: double jump. But just keep in mind, double jump's a resource, so when they burn it, they don't get it again, obviously. So that is important. If you can bait out a double jump, you cut off their options in the air, and it makes their disadvantage even easier. So now that I got the options they can do out of the way, let's go back to the scenario. I'm not do frame by frame for this one. So Bowser up throws me here. I'm gonna DI out with Chrom, and what Bowser can do in this situation safely is determined by what I do. So if Bowser could want to get big damage here by going for up air or neutral air, but I could just say no because I'm gonna DI out and jump away. So now I gotta use my face. I gotta use my leg to like press this button. So I'm holding so many buttons right now. So let's see, he goes for dash, then he inputs jump. So let's say I say no, I don't want to get hit by any of that nonsense. So I'm gonna go buffer fair with him. Well, I buffered the wrong thing. I'm supposed to do up air. That actually is gonna hit me, I think, because I buffered fair back then. Oh no, it isn't. So yeah, I don't want to get hit by non-Bowser stuff, so I go for double jump back. In this situation, I went for the safest option to not take damage, but for going for this option, I did give up stage, which is kind of bad against Bowser sometimes because once Bowser gets to the ledge, he's scary on it. He has a lot of ledge trapping and stuff he can do. Probably the strongest thing Bowser could have done in this scenario to really mix me up is he could have gone for up throw. This kind of stuff doesn't work too well online, but it still kind of works in good connection. In bad connection, this advantage state won't be as in-depth as this stuff. It's usually a lot more simple. So he goes for up throw. I'm gonna jump back, and let's say Bowser, to mess with my head, Bowser is gonna short hop here. So yeah, Bowser short hops in this situation to mess with my head. I'm jumping back. Now I'm gonna buffer this. Bowser doesn't do nothing. He's just trying to get in my brain, basically. He's trying to mess me up. So I short hop back. Bowser does short hop fast fall. He looks at me. Now Bowser's gonna run forward, and suddenly he didn't throw a button, so there's a lot of things he can do. I use Bowser for this example because he has one of the best double jumps in the game, and he can go up there fast. Like if he wants to shoot up there and RAR bear me, like reverse aerial rush bear me, there's a bunch of stuff he can do. So it's all up to what's going through his head and what does he want in the situation. He can opt for more damage. In the situation, it would depend on what's the better option, but it's also what's going on in his head. He could opt for more damage, or he could do something like not hit me at all and just kind of bully me off the stage, which that's what I'm going to do. So let's say the Bowser decides he wants a positional advantage. He doesn't hit you at all, and he kind of just bullies you and threatens you off the stage. Suddenly, Bowser's other facet of advantage state comes in. That's the fact that the attacker or the offender, or whatever you want to say. I guess I would say attacker. The one on offense generally is going to be more scary if the person on defense isn't on the ground or doesn't have too much of the stage to work with, because suddenly, I went over this in my last video, how to do it low APM, or people who are on defense. When you're on defense, you're looking for dash back and all this stuff, like roll away and stuff. But when you have them in the air, they can't do any of that. So Bowser is just gonna have like a billion options. I only have 2 things to get around his like 8 options he could do to me. So here, by bullying me off the stage, I would say he kind of won this disadvantage situation because he bullied me off the stage. I think I just die here, but that's a mechanical issue. Realistically, Bowser would have shielded there, but you get what I'm saying. The damage that he could have done, he can think in his head he wants to do big damage, but if the enemy player opts to go for something else, they might be able to either give up stage or have another way of breaking out of it. However, this is sometimes in the game, It depends. It depends. Sometimes in the game, it's better just to take the hit, because if you take the hit, they're not going to get as much of a positional advantage. Or sometimes it's even better just to air dodge. Now, a lot of the times you're not going to see pros air dodge too much unless they're fighting a character who does like dumb damage by themselves. Just because when you air dodge, if you don't air dodge the right direction and they're chasing that air dodge, there is everything that they were able to do before is open to them. They can literally do whatever they want to you because you're in so much. You're at such a. I covered this in another video. You're like, your frame advantage is like -50 or something. Like, you're super negative right now, so you just can't move, and they're gonna be in your face with a billion options. So they can get creative at that point and extend their advantage too. So that's what they would have to look out for to cover you. As a quick recap, just to break the moves down, jumping back, it's going to usually give up stage, and it gives up your double jump, which you usually want to save that. But jumping back before you get hit usually does not let people combo you and stuff like that. And it's just a surefire way not to get hit a lot of the times. But it does give them a lot of positioning over you. Air dodging back, if you can use it properly, neutral air dodge is the best one probably in the game, but if you can use it properly, you can use the invincibility to go through normals and maybe not take a full combo. But if they bait out either of them, they can get huge punishes off of it. So for the defender, you would have to mix up when you do those, and also when you're throwing out normals and stuff like that. And for the attacker, it's how is he going to react to it? And what's he gonna do about that to extend his advantage state or get more damage off of that kind of thing? Instead of me just showing you in training mode, I'm gonna show you a very fast fight I did. This fight was like, let's see if I still have it recorded. I recorded it a while ago, but this fight kind of made me think about it, so think about making this video. There was a fight where I think it was like me on DK, and it was me versus Ganondorf. DK is another character with an insanely good advantage state, so it'd be easy to show this with. But it was me versus Ganondorf, and I was on DK. I might not have recorded it. Maybe I didn't record it. This might be it. Hold on. I feel like this isn't it, but this may be it. So it's me versus this Ganondorf. I'm on DK. And the ideas of advantage state are going to come in. We are two characters with pretty good advantage states and bad neutral. That's kind of like the main recurring theme with these two. So I'll just break this game down real quickly. So here I opt for a Nair and I just drag him off. This was all just like, that was a combo. On him, that's just not those are all just linked together. Like, I just kept linking Nair into it because there was nothing he could have done to live. Like, if they don't have options to escape it, just go for it if it's gonna kill them. Ganondorf literally didn't have an option there, so he just had to eat triple Nair, and that just killed him. That was better to go for instead of Spike. Even though spiking or something like that probably would have done more damage or been more devastating, it was better just to go for the triple Nairs because they were low risk and guaranteed, and it would get the job done. So now we're back in neutral. I get dash attack. I immediately go for a Spike because that was just an extension where I just read his jump there. That was that. Here I go for up tilt, grab. I tried to walk him off. I read he was going to mash out and just down smashed him. I knew he was at low percent and I read he was going to mash out, so I just waited for it. That's why I didn't throw him and then just down aired him and he died. So that is what I mean by strong advantage state. You can do really dumb damage or you can take stocks really fast, but basically this is just how you melt people or take the most out of every hit you get. Because you gotta remember, most hits in this game are almost always gonna give you advantage state or give you plus frames. Everything is positive on hit in this game for the most part. There's like a select few moves that aren't. So out of every hit, you gotta be thinking of how can I turn this hit? How can I turn the advantage I got from this hit into another hit? Or into something that's gonna help me out for the fight. Once you start thinking like that, that's when you start doing really good damage. The best players in the world are just insanely good at taking one hit and turning it into another over and over again. But that is the gist and the basics to melting people. Practice up and have fun deleting stocks. This is Rifti Roy signing out.